Did you know that your liver is your largest internal organ? It's located right here. It starts on the right side, and that's where your biggest part is, and it comes across to the left side of your body. It weighs about 3 pounds, and it is the only organ you have that if a piece of it is cut off, it can regenerate that piece. That's how important your liver is. My name is Judith Cobb, and I am a certified comprehensive iridology instructor, a master herbalist, and a natural nutrition clinical practitioner. We're talking about liver today. Your liver. Why would you care? Why would you care? Well, you might want to care because your liver does over 500 different jobs for you. If you had a personal assistant who did 500 different jobs, wouldn't you do things to try to keep them happy? That's a lot of stress off you, and that's a lot of things you don't need to worry about. The same is true of your liver. You want to keep your liver happy because if it stops doing one of those jobs, you may run into trouble. Those 500 different jobs that the liver does fall into 3 main categories predominantly. We've got clearinghouse, production, and detoxification. So what that really means is clearinghouse is that everything that gets into your body, whether you eat, drink, breathe, touch, however it gets in there, needs to go through the liver. And the liver is the clearinghouse. It decides whether this thing is good, and if it's good, it keeps it, or is this thing bad? And if it's bad, can it be gotten rid of as is? Or does it need to be changed somehow? Does it need to be broken down into things that the kidneys can get rid of, for instance? If it's something that's good, then the body needs to decide, can I use it as is? Or do I need to change it to be able to use it? This is where the manufacturing or the production part of it comes in. We eat a lot of things, but our body doesn't use them as is. For example, when we ingest protein, we can't actually repair our bones using another animal's protein structures exactly as they are. We need to reconfigure those to turn them into a human protein structure. So when we eat things, the liver helps to break them down into component parts that the liver can then build up again to create or to manufacture or produce the different things that our body needs. Your liver knows everything that's going on in your body. It knows what body parts are damaged and need help, or broken and need help, or functioning well and just need some love. The third choice was detoxification. And again, a lot of what we eat, we don't need. A lot of what we breathe isn't good for us. A lot of what we touch and absorb isn't what we want in our bodies. So the liver looks at all of those things and decides, how bad is this? How much breaking down does it need to do? And it breaks things down into chunks that can be pulled out by the kidneys, for instance, right? Or that can be sent out through other channels so your body can offload toxins. How do you know if your liver is in trouble and if it needs support? We're going to go over my top 10 favorite liver symptoms. Now, each of these symptoms can point to something other than liver, but each of these symptoms also can point to liver. So if any of these symptoms are new, it's probably not necessarily a need to panic about it, but if it's a new symptom, I would really encourage you to go and seek medical attention or whatever health care you normally do. But get some attention, make sure you understand what's going on so that it can be addressed if it needs to be. The first point is low energy. Your liver takes all of the glucose that's circulating in your body that's not being burned up, and it bundles glucose together to create a molecule called glycogen. Glycogen is stored in your muscles and in your liver so that when you need energy on short notice, you can just pull that glycogen out and there you go, you've got the energy you need. Nausea is the second one. If you feel nauseous after eating a fatty meal, it could be an indication that your liver is not making the bile properly or that the gallbladder is not doing its job properly. So you might want to get that checked out. If your bowel movements, yes, we are talking poop here. If your bowel movements are pale or pasty looking or kind of washed out looking, like they've been bleached, that's an indication again that you might not be producing enough bile, so you might want to get that looked at. If you are anemic, so your hemoglobin is low or your iron is low, in spite of you having what you consider to be a good diet, then you might want to get that looked at, because your liver is responsible for producing the enzyme that transfers the iron from storage into the blood cells, and you want to make sure that the liver is doing all of those jobs properly. If you get blood work done annually or biannually, and you notice that your HDL, your LDL, and your triglycerides are doing some really radical things, like increasing suddenly for the LDL, decreasing suddenly for the HDL, or increasing suddenly for the triglycerides, those are also indications that your liver is not happy. Certainly dietary modifications can help, but if the liver is cranky, you can modify your diet all you want and it's going to have very little effect. What about your immune system? Did you know that 10% of your liver's mass is dedicated to a special kind of cell called Kupffer cells? That's Kuppfer. Kupffer cells have an awful lot to do with your immune response. So if you're catching everything that blows past and you're always fighting something, it could be that your liver is not working right. Women, if you have PMS, breast tenderness, fluid retention, mood issues prior to your period, or menopausal symptoms that are just way out of normal, they're off the charts, they're really irritating, that also can be an indication that the liver is doing things. If you've got acne, so skin issues, whiteheads, blackheads, cysts, that can be an indication that the liver's not detoxifying things properly. If you have yellowish tinted skin, or the whites of your eyes are yellow, that is called jaundice, and it's an absolute giveaway that your liver is probably not doing its job, and that one really needs to be investigated by the medical professionals. You need to know what you're working with. If you have a metallic taste in your mouth when you're eating and food just doesn't taste good, it tastes bitter or metallic or just off, and everything that goes in is tasting yucky, that can be a liver congestion symptom as well, so you want to do a bit of liver support work for that. Itchy skin. Now this one really can be from a lot of different causes, and I totally recognize that, but if we've got itchy skin and jaundice, that's an indication of liver disease. It's an indication that the bile is building up too much and it makes your skin itchy. So especially if that's a new symptom for you, itchy skin and the jaundice, you want to get that checked out. See, oh, and there's one more. Yeah, can't forget this one. If you're always in a bad mood, always irritable, always thin-skinned, always angry, always in a bad mood, we call it UMS, ugly mood syndrome, that's an indication that your liver is struggling. So you really want to deal with things. So if you've got some of those symptoms, your liver may need support. And here are some practical things that you may want to do with that. First off is get rid of alcohol. I know that sounds extreme, but if the liver is struggling, pouring alcohol on it in any quantity is not going to help it at all. So just get rid of the alcohol. You can substitute soda water or fizzy something or other, something else carbonated to have lots of fun with. You don't need alcohol. The second one is clean out the cleaners and the chemicals. If you're exposed to industrial chemicals and industrial toxins, make sure you're using every bit of protective gear, all of the safety protocols that you are supposed to be using. Your liver can't handle that kind of stuff. Even if you're renovating your home and you're doing things with different chemicals or shellacs or adhesives, really be careful with those. Ventilate well, use a mask if you need to. Your cleaning chemicals around your home, get rid of them. Use things that are biodegradable, use things that are natural, vinegar and baking soda, nature sunshine concentrate, just natural things, and you'll do just as good of a job without putting your health at risk. And last but not least, something else you can do is to eat leafy greens. This is liver food, and so are beets. Liver food. Eat these regularly. They're good for your liver on so many different levels. So how can you tell then if you have a genetic predisposition towards liver issues? It's in your eyes. It's all in your eyes. This is the genetic predisposition. You can earn the right to have liver problems without being genetically predisposed, but if you've inherited the potential to have liver issues, it's in your eyes. I'm inviting you to join me for a webinar that's coming up, and I'm going to share in that webinar iris markers that speak about liver predisposition and sclera markers that tell you if the liver is cranky now, and we'll talk about things you can do if you've got these markers as well. I'm going to teach you about your liver's genetic inheritance. The details are below, and in the meantime, show your liver a little love.